They say it can't be done, and I keep proving them wrong. I was over budget the first 2 weeks, but I knew what I was doing. I was building up my staple reserve. First week I had to buy oil, salt. Second week I had to buy my vegetables. Now I was able to go under budget and sacrifice nothing. In fact, I even bought a dozen eggs. Now I get an egg for breakfast every day to go along with the banana and the juice. And still have fry bread left over, so I can eat that with my breakfast too. Here's what I bought. Eggs, moss rice, jalapenos, which I highly recommend for rice flavoring, the breakfast bananas, more fry bread material, and the last cheap apple juice in the store. In fact, I got this before Brent could, and he had to buy Hawaii's own, the non-100% juice.
Yeah, you fucker.
Yeah. And grand total, $5.28 altogether, which puts me well under budget. I now have $9.07 for the last 9 days. I'm back on track. Things couldn't be better. And my weight stabilized, sort of, around 150.
All right, Dan and I just got back from the store, and we bought our week 3 groceries. So, first off, kind of like last time, I bought potatoes, but it was kind of cool. These things were actually hidden in the back. They weigh 6 pounds rather than 5, so extra pound of potato. Nice. And unfortunately, they didn't have the really cheap juice, so I bought 78 cents of juice, which doesn't make me too happy. Spend an extra 6 cents, and that hurts. And carrots, normal stuff. I bought lots of ramen, but I have extra stuff left over. And what's really cool, since my family, we lived off of ramen for a while. So what we did is we chopped up vegetables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up onion and carrot and whatnot and throw it in there. It's great. It's all good. Makes it taste better. And just like Dan, I also bought eggs. So the perfect Polish-German breakfast with 2 eggs and 3 potatoes. Man, can't go wrong. So this week I'm on budget. I spent $6.41, so that's cool. And it's looking to be a pretty good week.
As you can see, 27 cents of flour makes quite a lot of fry bread. Well, I had a bit of a breakdown this weekend. I was hungry, a little tired of eating the same things, even though I do have a bit more diversity than usual. So I decided, why not start wandering the stores, and that'll no doubt ease my cravings. Well, unfortunately, I saw this for sale at my local canned food store. And now, instead of having $9.08 to spend, instead of having $9.07 to spend, I have $8.28 to spend for my last week. With that in mind, I'm going to take this 28 cents and turn it into flour at the store. Week 4, you're going to notice a lot more diversity and a lot less rice. The reason for this is because not only do I have rice left over, but because rice after a while starts tasting the same and I'm ready to try new things. Besides, now that week 4 is approaching, I can start getting off the rice crutch, as we like to call it, and start experimenting with linguine and black beans. Still got the lentils, great side dish, great protein. Picked up 3 cans of this very cheap tomato sauce, 20 cents a piece. only 1 onion, but I'll make it stretch. 9 bananas, 1 for every day for the rest of the days that I'm on this documentary. 1 medium, small sized tomato, only about 38 cents. Treetop apple juice, carrots, and I couldn't afford tortillas, but oddly enough, the packaged tostadas cost less. And altogether, it cost me $7.55, leaving me at the end of this with a grand total of 48 cents left over. Now I'm going to take that 48 cents and I'm going back to the store and I'm going to buy that bulk cilantro I saw for 38. And that is going to be what I eat for the rest of this documentary. Thank you very much for watching.
Alright, so this is the last week of our documentary, and this week, pretty much I just bought the same stuff I did last week, with the exception I bought a lot of ramen, lots and lots of ramen. I'm not even going to eat all of this. So we have 7 days plus 2 more to equal out to be 30 days. So, yeah, that's about it.
Mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Alright, go ahead.
I noticed that your diet's been kind of lacking in different kinds of vegetables. You don't have any green leafy vegetables, no cauliflower, broccoli, things like that. How do you feel?
Well, I mean, I have brown, with some potatoes, and I also have some orange, just not green.
Okay, alright. I noticed the juice you've been buying hasn't been 100% juice. You do know that, that affects the amount of fruit you're taking, right?
Well, it has 100% vitamin C, so, it can't be too bad. Plus, I'm sure there's some juice in here. Let's see. 10%. It has 10% juice in here.
Alright, so like 10 of those, probably. I don't understand why you bought those instead of apple juice.
Because that's 88 cents each, and these are 78, so I saved 10 cents. So I said 20 cents total.
Enough to buy more ramen that you're not going to eat?
Yeah, that too. Okay, so I don't feel like eating rice, and I've already eaten my potatoes for today. So what else do I eat? Well, I'm going to make ramen. Now, for most of you, this isn't such a big deal, but for those of you in the upper class who've never had to survive off this stuff, well, you might want to take notes. So, the first thing you have to do, come on over here.
Alright.
Alright, can you see? Alright, the first thing you want to do is you want to find a clean pot. But if you can't find one, just rinse it off with water then. Rinse it. Alright. And then add a little bit of water. Just a couple cups. There we go. And got that. Yeah. Now there's 2 ways of eating ramen. You can either just eat it raw and put the flavoring on it, or you can actually cook it. Either way is good. I add vegetables into the soup, so I actually get some sort of nutritional value. For onion, I just take a chunk out of it. Well, after a minute and a half, you'd want to put your carrots in because they take longer to cook. Just throw it on in there. Poke at it for a bit. There you go. Alright, so after about another minute of cooking, you can add the onion. And it's also good to break it up. After it cooks, it gets kind of tender, and it's kind of like the noodles, where it's really easy to fork out. So by the time the broth comes to a boil, it's almost ready. Just let it cook for a little bit while it's boiling, 30 seconds, 40 seconds or so. And then when you think it's cooked long enough, just turn the fire off and let it sit for a few minutes.
They call that ramen fit for a king.